And just because it's AI, and our colleagues in industry have been very good at sort of selling the sort of hype and buzz around it and telling you that nothing like this has ever existed on the face of the earth, ever. It does not mean that we have to like create new laws around it.
So I want to dive into one of the roles you played when you were in the White House to help put together this AI Bill of Rights. October 2022, it's a blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights.
Yes.
And it drops almost 21 years to the date after Jay-Z's The Blueprint album.
Oh, we were tracking that, obviously.
Well done. You're for the culture.
The White House counsel office was on that.
So you're combining two elements where we have a lot of confusion or disagreement in the United States. Rights and AI.
Yep.
What were your goals in setting forth this blueprint?
So the AI Bill of Rights was really a public-facing process that we started a year before, so October 2021. We start with a call to action to the public and an op-ed in Wired magazine that has an email address that goes to the White House. And so we said, how should these tools and systems work in our life?
How much spam did you get for publishing that email address?
I wasn't monitoring that email address. That was somebody else's job, but I'm sure there was quite a lot of spam, and probably now all in the federal record.
Right.
And so that was a whole just different orientation, right? So there was a lot of nerds, eggheads, freaks and hackers, white hat hackers working on this as well in the White House. But there was also the sense that you had to engage the public, like that we had reached a moment where you just couldn't go the sort of priesthood of technologists behind closed doors and sort of come out with something and say, ta-da. So we had that open call. We had listening sessions. We had working, sort of open.
What's a listening session?
A listening session. So we took that model from the Food and Drug Administration.
Okay.
So when they're passing a new rule or wanting to hear about how they might roll out or not roll out a particular pharmaceutical or make a policy change, they have these listening sessions where anyone can come to the mic and speak for 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, like city town hall. We see
exactly,
these things,
exactly. Yeah,
they can
so
get
it's
very creative.
Kind of radical democracy. And my whole team was there. We were just listening, and we did I think 3 of those at different times of day. So
in person?
We did them on Zoom.
Okay. Yeah.
So different people could come from different parts of the country in different time zones. And we literally just listened. And we had high school students and we had moms and dads. So that was really fascinating. People could just say whatever.
What's the mood around hearing these pieces of feedback from the general public like that?
The mood, shockingly, and what the AI Bill of Rights does, there's sort of these 5 principles, distills is what we heard. And that's sort of what we heard is sort of, we want the tools to be helpful and not harmful. I want to know if the tools are being used. How do I know if my data and my privacy is being safeguarded as someone uses these tools? Yeah. And so people said it in different ways. There was different kinds of vocabularies of fear and of hope around this. But fundamentally, the experts and the non-experts, the high school students who said, we're really worried about facial recognition technology at our school. As our schools get more militarized, as we have to go through metal detectors and these sorts of things. Yeah. What else? Now we're also worried about this kind of surveillance technology in our school. So it was shockingly similar at a high level.
What's inside this blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights?
Yeah, so I think 5 very common sense principles. One, that AI, automated systems, AI tools and systems should be, dun, 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 safe and effective.
What?
Mind-blowing.
Safe and effective.
Mind-blowing.
Okay, that's
polarizing.
You're asking a lot.
It's outrageous.
Okay.
That people should have protections from algorithmic discrimination and bias. Right? That you should have data privacy. That you should know when an AI is being used. And if an AI is being used, AI tool or system, in particular to make a consequential decision about your life, access to resources, access to a job, to a mortgage, that you should have human fallback, which is to say, you should be able to say, how is this decision reached about my access to this set of resources or this job? And can you break that down for me? If an AI was used, what did the system do to the extent that we can know? So those are 5 things distilled from rabbis, priests, high school students, moms and dads, the world's leading AI experts in academia and in industry, policy people, and colleagues from across government. November of 2022, ChatGPT comes on the scene.
Mhm.
You and I have been talking together and with others about AI and technology for a very long time, but people who love us don't want to talk about it and never want to talk about it. But November of 2022 comes, and
Yeah.
and like everybody we know, at
Wants to
Thanksgiving,
talk about it.
Christmas,
Yeah.
Hanukkah is like, whoa,
Mhm.
AI, tell me about this thing that you've been. And so that was a different moment. And immediately it was government can't keep up. Government, this technology is too
Mm.
fast. What's government going to do about it? And part of the theory of the case with the AI Bill of Rights is like, there are things that we can already do, like the Bill of Rights. So you asked about the rights piece. It's these sort of foundational 10 principles that accompany the Constitution, that sort of try to put a check on the more sort of powerful um, tendencies of power.
Yeah.
And so, we harked back to that purposely. But it was also to say, by going back to this 200-plus-year-old document, that you don't have to recreate the social compact every time there's a new technology.
Yeah.
So part of the freak out was like, there is a new technology, and oh my God, we need new agencies, new laws,
Mhm.
new everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, anything we have can't possibly be sufficient. The AI Bill of Rights says in part that there are things that government agencies do. I mean,
Mhm.
if you regulate consumer fraud, if you regulate violence against women,
So everybody's got a part to play in this.
everyone's got
And
a part to play.
yeah.
And just because it's AI, and our colleagues in industry have been very good at sort of selling the sort of hype and buzz around it
Mhm.
and telling you that nothing like this has ever existed on the face of the earth, ever. It does not mean that we have to like create new laws around it. So the AI Bill of Rights was basically saying, what can government do right now?
Yeah.
Turn of a dime. What are you already doing in the equal opportunity commission office, right? That's already says, it's
Mhm.
already said discriminating against people, disabled people, the
Mhm.
American Disabilities Act, um, is illegal. So if
So
you
it's
use AI to do it, it's
it's
still
still
illegal.
illegal. So AI doesn't change the law
Doesn't change our social
and
compact,
our
doesn't change
our
the law.
obligation to
Yes,
respect that law.
correct.
Facial recognition block. We're here to make a plan and can't nobody stop. Everyone turn on your facial recognition block. We're here to make a plan and can't nobody stop.